So, when I was 6 years old, my dad got me a surfboard, and this board was so big, and the sail was so long, and the sea was so wild. And I looked up to my dad again, and he told me, we'll do it together. So as the years passed by, my dad and I got really good at surfing. My brothers got involved too. We went on surfing holidays together, and we were out on the water once or twice a week. I also met friends who surfed, and when my dad couldn't take me out on the water again, my friends did. And I remember one time I was surfing with one of my friends, and he told me to look to my right. And when I looked to my right, I saw this seal peeking his head out of the water. And it felt so amazing that this seal enjoyed the waves as much as we did. And when the sun touched the sea, we would get out of the water, had ourselves a little barbecue, would go home to do the same thing tomorrow all over again. About a year later, same spot, same friends, we're out on the water again, and when I looked around me, instead of all these seals, I saw all this plastic and pollution just floating around me. And when the stars came out again, we went out off the water, had ourselves a barbecue, a couple of beers, a couple of cigarettes, a couple of joints. And when we walked towards our cars again, I looked back, and what I saw was all these beer bottles and cigarette butts we left behind, not realizing that we were part of the problem. So, why do we call a plastic product disposable when it is actually indestructible? We use plastic material that's designed to last forever for products designed to only last minutes. I had some examples for you, some did you knows. So did you know that plastic, when it ends up in water, breaks up in small plastics called microplastics? And did you know that Nicole D'Alessandro, a researcher from EcoWatch, said that there are more microplastics in the ocean than there are stars in the Milky Way? And did you know that probably your shampoo contains microplastics, also known as microbeads? And a water filtering system can't filter these microbeads, so they end up in the ocean immediately. And did you know that plastic takes 500 to 1,000 years to degrade? Did you know that when you eat fish, like trout or perch, you are most likely to eat plastic yourselves? And did you know we could all do something about this? So I figured I was someone to do something about this. And I had an inspiration. He's called Marijn Tinga. He's also known as a plastic soup surfer. Maybe you heard of him. And he sailed from Morocco all the way to the Netherlands just to make a statement. And on his way, on his journey, he picked up all these pieces of plastic out of the water, he filtered them, and he made his own kite surfboard out of it. And I wanted to do the same. I want to make an example just like him. So I did that, and I made a video out of it.
The water is wide, I can cross over, and neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that will carry two, and both shall row, my love and I. There is a ship, and she sails the sea. She's loaded deep, as deep can be, but not so deep as the love I'm in.
So my idea was to get out of the water with this surfboard, with a net, and to pick up all these pieces of plastic that were floating in the water while surfing. It didn't quite work out well because it was almost impossible to keep stable on this surfboard and then pick up that pieces of plastic and then catch a wave. And oh my god, we had loads of fun, but I couldn't stay on the board and it was actually impossible to do. And that's when I realized that this problem is an actual problem, and it can't be solved with just one simple idea. So in the Netherlands, we have all these volunteering campaigns who go out on the beach yearly during the summer to pick up all these pieces of plastic on the beach. And that's really great and it's amazing. But I figured that the Netherlands is a real surfing country. You see everyone windsurfing, kite surfing. There's always wind. And when there's been a storm in England, there are waves over here. But there's no surfing community in the Netherlands who does something about this. So I think we should take an example out of World Surf League in Hawaii. World Surf League is an event organization who focuses mainly on surfing events, but also is searching for ways to create less pollution, to clean up beaches, seas and oceans, and do this in a fun way while surfing. And I've spoke about all these things that are wrong and are bad, but you could do something about this. So for example, you could reuse your plastic bags if you go to the grocery store. And maybe instead of going to the grocery store, you could go to the market, because over there plastic isn't, veggies aren't packed in plastic. And I think you could come up with some ideas yourself. Well, I've been very busy these last few years. I started my own company called Gill Design. This was mainly because I'd like to create corporate identities for startups in Rotterdam. But now I'm working on a way to create environmentally friendly products. So think about your tote bag. Tote bag is made of cotton, but isn't there a way to make this completely sustainable with a fair wage? And I think that's possible, so that's why I'm working on it actually. And I hope to launch my first product this June. And I wanted to give you this, my quote from Gill Design. Don't let Earth become a habit. If you want to talk to me about this project afterwards, I have my business cards with me. And thank you for listening.